Micky, thank you for joining us. You've been with us for just over 3 months now. Today we're going to talk about a whole host of topics reflecting on your time at the club. We'll start with the transfer window. We had some big departures in Luke Leahy and Matt Pennington, among others. We brought in 14 players in what was a busy window. How would you assess where the squad is now?
Yeah, I think going on to what you mentioned there. Luke Leahy expressed an interest to leave and handed a transfer request in. Obviously, we lost Matt Pennington as well. Alongside that, we had Taylor Moore, who was here last season, Killian Phillips. They're players that are really hard to replace, difficult to replace. We brought 14 new additions in. On reflection, was that the target? No, we weren't looking. I think it's too many. But you also have to put into that, we lost Elliot Thorpe for 4 months. We lost Jordan Shipley for 4 months. And unfortunately, we've lost George Nurse to a reoccurrence of his injury, which will see him probably miss most of the season. So the circumstances means you have to change. But yeah, on reflection, I didn't want to do as many as I had to do, but circumstances meant we had to do it. It's been a massive, I think it's 3 months I've been in the post, and there's been a massive overhaul, not just in terms of the squad, but you also need to remember that we brought a new head coach in, new assistant head coach. We lost David Longwell halfway through pre-season, so we had to bring in a new first team coach. We had to bring in a new, we brought Chris Skip back, obviously, a fan's favourite and head of performance and medicine. So there's been a massive overhaul in the staff as well. So it's not just the players, but the staff as well. But it's been busy, been busier than I would have wanted to. But on reflection, I'm quite happy with the business that's been done.
In terms of the playing budget, how does it compare to last season?
Yeah, I think just for the record straight, I think we need to understand that there was a massive overspend last year that was not sustainable, and it could not continue. It was bordering on getting out of control. So in terms of the budget that's been set, it's exactly the same. But this year there will not be an overspend. It is sustainable. It is controllable. And what people need to remember is back in 2015, 2016, when the club came back into League One, it's been there ever since. There were 6 football clubs in League One that year that are now either not with us anymore or playing their football in the National League and below. So everything has to be sustainable. You cannot, continue chasing something that's not there. It's not sustainable. And like I say, the overspend last year was the highest in the club's 137-year history. So the budget's in place, fine.
You said when you joined you wanted to implement a more attractive style of play. Do you think we've seen that yet?
Yeah, so when I came, I spoke about I'd like us to try and play a little bit more attractive. I said I'd like to bring the squad age down, and I'd like to have a bigger squad, and I'd like to look at the academy and implement them. So if you just go off them alone, statistically, last year up to this point, we've got 9 points at this stage. Last year they had 9 points as well. Possession, they were on 41%, we're on 49%. So possession, we're in a better place. If you look at the squad, I think the squad size this year is bigger and got greater depth than it was last year. And if you look at the academy, we've had 2 under-18s, 2 second-year scholars make their Football League debut, which I think there was only one last year. Obviously, Travis Hearns and Harvey Watts. Both have played in the Football League and both played in the Carabao Cup in front of 35,000. So, most clubs use the Papa John's, or the EFL as it's called now, to bed youngsters. We've done that in the first 7 games in terms of our own players. So there's been great the age range has come down from, like I say, 26 to 24. So, yeah, I think there's been some real good progress in terms of that, yes.
On to the matches themselves. Our last 3 games, we haven't scored in them. Fans are concerned about the lack of clear-cut chances being created as well. Do you agree that we need to create more, and how do we do it?
Yeah, so when I talk about the possession and I talk about the things that I talk about, that has been in the back third and mid third. Totally agree. In the final third, we need to create more and we need to do more. But I think we also need to look at it in the first, I don't know, 5, 6 games. We only had 2 centre forwards in the building. Max Mata, we didn't. When we signed Max, I mean, Jane worked morning, noon, and night to try and get him done as quick as we could, but she couldn't. It was down to the Home Office. It took too long. No one's fault. So that was an issue. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have enough forwards in the building, but we didn't think that Max was going to take as long as he did. So Max made his debut on Saturday, and he's been here like 6 weeks. So yeah, in the final third, we're as frustrated as everyone else. We obviously know that it's a concern, definitely. You can't bury your head in the sands and go, it's not a concern, because it is. That's not just the forwards, that's as a team. We need to create more. But we're 7 games in, do you know what I mean? So, I think it's going to take a period of time for all the squad to get together, and for the staff to get their messages across. But definitely that is one area right here, right now, where we know we do need to improve and become better at, definitely.
And they say to get that improvement, it's about the players spending more time together. Is it about the group coming together, as you said?
Yeah, I think
those are the steps.
I think Matt and the staff are, trying to get their principles across, and the players are trying to adapt to different messages, and there is no, quick fix to it. We're definitely aware that we need need more actions in the final third than what we're getting at this moment in time. But it's I think we're 9 points from the first 7, exactly the same stage as we were this time last year. So I think, yeah, we're going to be a work in progress in that department.
We still haven't conceded a goal in the first half in the league, but we appear to be tailing off in the second period. Why is that, do you think?
I think obviously the disruption of not having been able to change the front line at the early part of the season has something to do with that, definitely. Again, it's the new players getting to understand. We've conceded some off restarts, which was is a massive thing in this league. We came back in pre-season probably a little bit later than we would have wanted to. So there's loads of little 1% factors that contribute to it, but it is something that we do need to address and something that we do need to be better at.
You mentioned coming back to pre-season later than you wanted to. Why is that?
That had already been set. That had already been set before I came into the building. We would have liked probably a little bit longer, but it was already put in place.
You said when you first arrived that you wanted to build a squad for a 3-5-2. There's a concern amongst supporters as well that we can't change system. The squad's not really, hasn't got any wingers in it.
Yeah.
Is Matt able to change formation to mix things up?
So you look at when you're somebody new who's coming into a job, you look at what has gone on previously. Now, like I said before, they finished 12th last year. With obviously having a budget in place or an overspend, if you want to call it, that helped to that. And then you look at the positives that were in that. So you don't want to change too much too soon. You know, the 12th finish last year, there was 4 windows to get to 12th. So you don't want to change too much too soon. So, you know, it's had success playing 3-5-2. So I wanted to keep that there. The squad that we've got in place now, if the coaching staff felt that they wanted to tweak that or anything like that, then more than they can do that. You know, it's not, you know, one size fits all. You know, I need to get across, you know, all the players that are signed, Matt has the final say. We bring the players that we're looking for, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, whatever it is, but Matt has the final say on which one is signed. It's not, well, they're all my signings. They're not my signings. Do you know what I mean? There's the staff all have a conversation. We all have an input, definitely, but Matt has the final say. Matt has the final say on the team. Matt has the final say on what system, shape, organisation. If he feels that, you know, we've got a squad that can play another system and he feels it's right for those players, then yeah, he can change it. You know, it was designed for a 3-5-2. I'm not going to lie from that, it is, because it's had success playing that way.
You mentioned we finished 12th last year. There's a lot of expectation to improve on that.
Yeah.
Would you say that's realistic?
This is the 9th consecutive year the club's been in League One. So when the club got back into League One in 2015, 2016, if you look at the teams that were in the league then, you know, Bury have gone, unfortunately, gone out of existence. Scunthorpe were in League One. The year the club finished 3rd, Scunthorpe actually finished 5th and now in the Conference North. And then there's 4 other teams in that season, 2015, 2016, that are playing in the National League. So I think there needs to be a little bit of perspective in terms of, you know, for the club of where we're at and the resources we've got for 9 consecutive years is really good. You know, the chairman must take great credit. You know, in 2015, 2016, League One was predominantly chairmen or owners were local entrepreneurs, local businessmen. 9 years down the line now, if you look at the Premier League, Championship, and now even League One, mostly are owned by foreign investment. So it makes things really difficult. Expectations is we want to get to 50 points as quick as we can and then reassess where we want to go and what we want to do. I think it's massively critical for us to be a League One football club, and we want to strive to be the best we can be with what we've got. Like I say, you know, the budget that's been put in place is a competitive budget. We know that. It's not going to be one that's going to be, you know, top half or anything like that. And like I say, the finances that were available last year was the highest it's been for 137 years. We haven't got those because it's not sustainable. It isn't. It's just not sustainable. The budget that's put in place now is a sustainable budget that can keep the football club here. And I think, you know, the chairman has got to have great credit for that because he runs the football club like a business. Even though he's a supporter, he's a local person, he wants the best for the football club, but he's also got to think business as well. So we want to achieve the highest place finish that we possibly can. 100% we do. But there's no, we want to finish in this position or that position. No, we want to get to 50 points and then from there reassess our next goals.
Thanks for your time, Micky.